let me welcome my good friend and my recent student passing the PgMP with me. His name is Rodrick Patterson. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Again, like I was stating before, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your platform, mentorship, and under your tutelage as well.
Perfect. So yeah, Rodrick is representing U.S. Army at the moment, and he has done PhD.
Yeah, so I'm finishing my doctorate this summer in strategic leadership from Liberty University. I completed a project management certification, program management certification, professional scrum master, and then a certified supply chain professional certification as well.
Yeah, and this is a great. All these are great achievement for Rodrick, given that he's very young. I don't want to call out your age, but he's very young, and he has been doing great things. So I'm looking forward to supporting, working together to make a big things, make a big improvement or big impact. And today we have a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about servant leadership and project success. Yes, it's a very interesting topic. Maybe somebody who already in the agile, you already know what this servant leadership is, but we'll talk a little more about this. So before we jump into this, Rodrick, you did your PgMP just recently, not too long ago. Would you like to talk about that in few minutes?
Okay, yes. For those who are seeking the project management certification, definitely would encourage you to do so. Myself and more so importantly, Dharam here, he's a coach and mentor, leading professional in the project program management, portfolio management arena. So if you would like to follow on his tutelage, join his program, I did 10-week program. And one of the biggest things I will say about the certification process is in Dharam's program, his company allows you to customize the program to your schedule and flexibility. But for those who seeking the certification, I will tell you or share with you is that it's completely different in project management. Okay, so I know a lot of people that have or professionals that have the project management certification want to apply the same principles and methodologies to program management, and I would say it's not the same. You will have to literally go back to the body of knowledge of program management. And Dharam, of course, offers great program, great insight, and like I say, he customizes the program towards your professional industry of specific interest. In mine was small business development, so I was able to take a lot of the processes and methodologies to apply to my actual small business myself to also help launch a startup as well. And so one of the things you'll receive from Dharam if you join his program is one of his books here. The fifth edition of the project management certification course. I think I dive into this book maybe once a week in terms of a business challenge I'm having. And I try to go back to the notes that Dharam and I shared through the program through his course. And then it actually helps him bring a lot of clarity to my business formation. So but lastly, I would say I would encourage you to go for it. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And two, I would also share for those who just want to just gain certifications. I would share with you is it has to be a significant purpose with program management that I would probably recommend one that's pursuing a program management certification. It has to be for a purpose because the methodology and stuff is all about benefit, right? How does this certification benefit what it is you're trying to do and how you can help your organization or team actually grow and excel? That kind of goes into that servant leadership and project success as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Just want to remember the day, and I landed in Sydney in November, and I got a message, Dharam, I passed my PgMP. A week before, when we finished the class, I was having very big doubt whether you're ready or not, and I was asking you to take more time, to take extra one or 2 weeks. So don't worry, I will be fine. So you within a week time after the class finished, and you smashed. And I know when you're studying, but I was not getting the confidence. But I like to see that when you go, you're very confident. But yes, you did it as an army officer. You said, yeah, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make it. You did it.
Yeah. So one of the things we said in the army, we would not accept defeat. So I was like, well, I know I have to dive into this particular area, especially benefit management, right? And I said, I really want to gain a full understanding. So obviously, yeah, it did require some outside studying, maybe a couple of YouTube videos as well, in addition to the course, and then also the personal drive as well. Kind of goes back to that servant leadership. Are you willing to go beyond to, and what they may be for you, maybe it's differently for me, to achieve the things that we are trying to achieve as an individual, as a person, as a team, or as an organization. We have to try to put our best foot forward, and they're gonna have to take a different willpower from everyone. So yeah, I
Right.
definitely passed. I'm glad. Yeah, I know you was kind of shocked to have you, but I was like, well, hey, we went through this course 10 weeks. I can't. How much more ready can I be? Hey, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. But I would definitely say it's definitely worth it if you, like me, that has a business or entrepreneurial idea, goal, or working within a project programmatic type of structure in terms of leadership or position of workplace. I would definitely say that the program method does give you it does provide enough examples, and it does shape your perspective on how to approach and manage programs that consist of multiple projects. So
Yeah. So good. Thank you. And I mean, just to talk about the PgMP exam, PgMP PfM, these are two, I think, one of the most difficult exam. If you try to do yourself or reading books and question bank, I can tell you, you will struggle. It's not about no the doing question bank and just do some read books. It's more about visualization. Concept. Concept can be very narrow. If you can easily eliminate the some of the wrong options, then you are actually breathing through the exam. And you can remind. I think most people, for my student that I can talk about, they're completing the exam in 3.5 hours, and about 15 people have completed this exam, PGMP exam, in 2.5 hours, and 7 of them has completed in 6 hours. I'm sorry, 2 hours. So this 4 hour exam is now can be done in 2 hours. And of course, you guys are working hard and you're putting effort. But the some structure I built over a period of time is kind of working. And I'm very, very proud to say, as of now, 495 PGMPs, 5 short of my another milestone, 500, which is not far away. So 495 PGMPs and 134 PfMP. So I'm glad to talk about these numbers, but it's not just number. Yeah, everybody who came to me to learn something from me, I'm glad I was able to contribute to their journey. And everybody's journey is unique. Like you came and you have different purpose. You want to get a small business. Other people come, I want to get a job or a high profile. Let's go to the strategic role. Everybody is different, but I can tell you these certificates, PGMP, PfMP, are game changer. They are unique. They are distinguished, different from PMP. Yeah, PMP is there. If you done PMP, PGMP and PfMP will change your life. I can tell you as of now, because they only limited PGMPs around 5,000, 5,500, and PfMP around 16, 1,700. So it's not a big number, but this gives you a differentiator. So highly recommend, if you are still thinking, should I do, should I not? I think you should get it done as soon as possible before the numbers start becoming from 5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000 and 100,000. You don't want to become part of a crowd, more about uniqueness you have. So these are some videos I have created over the period of time, and about PgMP, PfMP, you will learn a lot about. If you're just starting or you're already in the process, you will learn a lot. And I do have 2 YouTube channels. These videos, that the recording of this webinar will also go onto the YouTube channel. So if you are interested to learn from not only from Rodrick, but all other people who have gone through my program or who have contributed to the knowledge pool, please go through the YouTube channel, subscribe it, and learn from them. Yeah, so PMI, all the certificate PMI has, after you get the certificate, you need to keep learn. PMI expect that you keep learning and grow yourself. For that, they're encouraging you to earn PDUs. So like this program will give you 1 PDU. PDU is Professional Development Unit. So some of these PDU, you can use it actually in front when you're going for PMP as well, because they have contact hours. You can use this as contact hours as well. But if you already have PMP or your PgMP, PfMP, you can use this kind of PDU or other PDUs for the purpose of renewal of your certificate. Thank you. Thank you for reminding. Let me ask my first question. As an experienced project program manager, what are the characteristics of servant leadership? How you define servant leaders?
Okay, so as an experienced project program manager, what are the characteristics of a servant leader? So first, for those, I would like to lead with a definite book text definition of words, right? So now I did my research in terms of what you can Google as far as what servant leadership is. Servant leadership is a leadership philosophy which allows an individual that interacts with others that's purposely aiming towards achieving things of greater cause, greater benefit in terms of rather than it's more so promoting group interest over personal advantage. As a servant leader, the goal is to understand and strive towards the empathy of working and collaborating with others, right? People is one of our greatest assets. It's one of the things we say in the United States Army. People is one of our greatest assets. So, and people deserve to be accepted. They're recognized for their, I guess you can say, for their special, unique talents and gifts. So one of the things we as project program managers, servant leaders, our goal to help our team members become leaders themselves. And that's one first off by being a leader of any capacity, leading by example, and then providing that support to your team and your organization and that would enable them to opportunities to grow and develop. So we also find that our teammates and our employees, family members, significant others, what have you, personal goals are just as important as well. So I think one of the greatest things about being a servant leader is that you're putting yourself in a position to put others first, and that's one of the probably most important things. Others before self. What I've found is working in nonprofits or on teams or committees or boards, what have you, is and they're all pretty much from a nobility standpoint. The focus for those were to serve the needs and interests and aspirations of others, rather than imposing our own personal agenda and or vision upon others. So, in a nutshell, right, servant leaders should be authentic and humble. Humble leaders and authentic leaders. One of the best things that resonates with me as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, we believe and strive for altruism, unselfish concern in the welfare and the benefit of others, promote group interest over personal advantage. So you talk about, project manager or program manager, you're leading people, you're managing processes, you're managing resources, you're managing schedule, you go to provide the best quality, and ideally, depending on what type of project that has a budget tied to it, under budget more importantly than anything. So um, and then that makes a project or program very successful and rewarding. So as a servant leader, I would say, approaching, people, processes, or organizational structure and strategy with a more of an altruistic vision.
Yeah, perfect. So look, servant leaders is a great. It's not a designation that you are an organization CEO or something. Yes, there are designated leaders, but servant leader can be anybody in the project basically. Whoever is creating the environment, especially the project and program manager, you are the one who creating the environment where the work can be done by the people more effectively, efficiently. Okay, instead of they worrying about how to remove the obstacles, you are the one who sees the obstacle first and remove them for them so that they can continue to do what they're doing and as efficiently as they're doing. So I want to reiterate now. Many people are worried about AI, how the AI is going to take over some of the work they are doing, because if you're just doing admin work as a project manager, those work can be easily taken over by machine or from artificial intelligence. But if you have one of the things will distinguish machine versus the people, that's your emotion intelligence, your servant leadership, your people skills. You cannot replace these skills by another machine. So these are the skills will make you a good project or program manager. And yes, let the machine come. They are our friend. let our admin work be done, but you are the one looking after the stakeholder engagement, creating the environment, and remove the obstacles for your team, and let them do the job.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned a great one, stakeholder engagement and management, for sure, because artificial intelligence can't gauge or confide with a person in terms of, you know, a human factor perspective. You know, in terms of, for example, I came in late to work for today because traffic was was backed up, or there was a delay in, transportation in terms of getting through the intersection because they're doing road construction work, a project. So human factor, the robot, or per se artificial intelligence, would not understand that the fact that there is real live interactions that humans are controlling, managing. They're not going to. So I personally believe that no matter what job it is, we cannot replace human beings with, automated, artifacts and things to infrastructure and to pretty much, as they say, take over the world. It's not. It's some jobs are just not going to allow it. Not long term, that is.
Exactly. Good. Thank you. All right. In the meantime, let me take the next question. A change should start with the individual. Are today's employee ready to move from command and control mindset to an employee empowerment and distributed decision making?
Okay, so just to reiterate the question, a change should start with an individual. Are today's employees ready to move from a command and control mindset to one of employee empowerment and distributed decision making? Yeah. So as I sat and thought about this one, Dharam, I was thinking from our training together as I was going through the course. You know, it's when you're so. And I have to speak more from a militant background in terms of command and control, because that's how we get and protect, U.S. oil, command and control. So, but I had to kind of step away from that for a moment because everybody's not in the military and everything shouldn't be approached in a militant way per se, right? So, the first part of the question, a change should start with an individual. I agree. Change starts with the individual for anything, for any reason. In order to change where you're going, or want change in your life, you have to make a change today, right? So you have to make a decision, which goes to the second part of the question of decision making. In order to incorporate change or accept change, first it has to be decided by a decision. So now, in terms of today's employee, we are in a different time than our forefathers and mothers have essentially raised us to the way of doing things, or the way things should go, and the way things have been going. I would try to credit it towards the command and control perspective, but we, as times change, things evolve. So I think it reverts back to, in this context, command and control. It does revert back to empowering our employees, our co-workers, to seek not only our goals and objectives, but their own as well. Which goes back to my other point, the needs and aspirations and interests of others. That goes back to that servant leadership, altruistic perspective, and altruistic, you know, um, you know, pedigree per se. So there's always going to be many challenges, specifically around decision making and individuality. There's always going to be a many changes that comes with that because, again, everyone deserves, like I said before, people deserve to be accepted and recognized for their special, unique talents and gifts. So you think about that into a project or a program that I might not be, you know, I see more technically inclined on this project, but I may have the vision that can inspire what processes that we should incorporate that made somebody more technical competent to integrate into our project or program to achieve the company's team's goal and benefit. So this is why decision making and individuality plays a big factor in it, in terms of, do I make this change? You know, do I stick to what I know and only, and block out other opportunities that people, other skill sets and unique gifts that people actually bring to the table, to my team, to my company, and those type of things that as leaders specifically, we have to have a more of a open mind in terms of the strengths and weaknesses of our organization, then two, of our individual team members as well. So, but whether that be in the uniform services for men and women, public or private sectors or of business, to include parenthood. Even how we parent today has to be done differently, you know. But to go back to the original point, but we first have to understand what change is. And then two, once we understand it first and all things get an understanding, then we also have to, one, then accept change as well.
Perfect. All right. So actually, yeah, as you said, era is changing. The way people are doing the working earlier, command and control, and having a whip in the hand and using it to get the work done. Now is the time is very different time. You cannot use the same technique. First of all, people are more aware and they're looking for more freedom. So and when they allow them more freedom, they tend to work better and they are more innovative and they can get the work done much better. So yeah, so
Right. And to add that to back to that, Dharam, is that which sometimes realistically we are going to have to find new ways of doing everything, especially
yeah,
in terms of leading and managing and motivating others. I mean, there is a current economic demand and push for higher productivity. You know, we talk about, you know, you hear people talk about, you know, increased performance. We talk about retention across industry. You know, those days employees are ready to move from a command and control environment. So the answer to that is yes, but that does not necessarily have to only start at the strategic executive level, but also at the project and program level, or in our case in the military, at the operational and tactical level of every organization, where things are actually moving and hands and feet are on the ground moving and touching things and making things happen. You know, we have to start having a, you know, yes, some people say get, you know, tighten the reins up more, and some people say, you have some people say, hey, you know, it's you know, this is we're going to integrate new things, new ideas, but that still goes back to the strategic side of having a vision, where we're trying to go and how long are we trying to get there. And so that's one of the biggest things, that everybody has their part to play on the team. So now, when properly understood, right, and then respected, I feel that we leaders, though, or those that have accepted the call of leadership, we should have a greater sense of, you know, that if you look at it from a long-term goal, this should provide more sense of job satisfaction for our employees, our team members. This should, you know, provide motivation, and then overall, as a business up and coming, aspiring, you know, business owner, I mean, I want organizational loyalty. So I want to know that my employees, co-workers, are strategic partners, right? Like working with me or working for me and building something with me. So I think that's the mindset that as leaders we should have we should think, you know, continuously, process improvement. How do we continue to inspire and motivate, provide a sense of job security and satisfaction, and continue to motivate and encourage, and then invest and develop by employees. And then it should, again, because they want to grow, individuals want to grow as well, right? But it also should provide a foundation set for, again, organizational loyalty.
yeah. I mean that's why uh, you mentioned few good points here. By looking after your employees, they'll tend to stay loyal to you and work more effectively, efficiently. And and when I'm saying looking after, I mean, you know, there are various things you can do. Yeah, as simple as listening to them when they want somebody to listen. So yes, we have a requirement, we have a milestone, we have a deadline, but you should take time to spend time with them. You know, maybe a phone or not going too much into personal, but listen to them. Sometimes those listening can be very effective and powerful. Hang on, my manager can actually appreciate and connect with me, and he's actually willing to help me as well. And believe it or not, that goes a long way in your project program and maybe other lives as well. So yes, we have a delivery, we have all the we have to get it done. But at the same time, if you can spend some time, this is also part of the stakeholder engagement to make sure the stakeholders are engaged and they are actually connected with you and they are committed. And they committed on. It's not about, okay, you're giving me money, I just have to do what I am supposed to do. No, when you are related or you have a good relationship, people tend to spend more time and they think outside the box and make the things make a job even better.
No, definitely, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, what is the problem with the current leadership? What is holding us back from becoming servant leaders?
Okay. So wow. So I'm gonna have to like tread lightly with this one, right? Because I might have some of my leaders, on the call, and I don't want to obviously. So, but no. But seriously, I think for a current leadership, I think across industry, and I've been in, obviously Department of Education, work for Department of Education as well. I've been in, small business and, as far as consulting, also the uniform services as well. And then obviously several nonprofit, organizations I have worked and served as well. So I'm going to speak, when I speak on this term, I'm going to speak in terms of all of them together versus just one specifically one to protect to protect my position per se, right? So current leadership, what I feel is that, so what is the problem with the current leadership? So current leadership, I think at times what I've experienced personally is that current leadership lacks a creating of meaningful work. So I think when you are trusting in a person or working alongside of someone, you want to make sure that they understand the intent, right? Understand what is it that we're doing and why we're doing it. And so not just creating busy work, not just creating, to make things, I guess you say, um, just just giving busy work per se. So I think we lack at creating meaningful work for our employees to, one, not only learn, but to also to grow and develop, and then continue to, train. In our project management world, we call it lessons learned, right? So in order to establish a lesson learned registry, we have to have blueprints, standard operating procedures. We have to have a journal per se of how we do things and what you usually do and troubleshoot this when this happens and that happens in some cases, right? So, but when you create a meaningful work, there's a lot that the person that they need to learn and where they are. You cannot close the gap because they're just threading paper, for example, or they're just sitting on meetings without taking notes, and there's no follow up in terms of what did they take from the meeting that they sat in on. So we creating we creating meaning. We lack at creating. I say we because I'm assuming ownership, as in all leaders, right? We oftentimes create non-meaningful work, right? Okay, and I think what we should do is take a step back and understand it's important that make sure what we're doing to try to accomplish, right? That it impact, right? Impact is at the forefront of what we do and why we do it. So, because the goal is that my team exists, or my company, your company exists to serve a cause. It goes back to the project manager definition. We want to provide a product, a service, and a result. Correct? So, with that, in terms of a leadership perspective, our goal and outcome should be to make an impact of what we do and why we do it. And then in my case, in the uniform, of why we're serving. Why are we, doing physical fitness training? What purpose does that solve, or what purpose does that serve in the uniform services? Like, why is it important to be physically, versus saying like just do these 25 push-ups and run down here and run back. We have to tie what we're doing to why we're doing it, and a lot more in that case. I said, but because currently right now we're at an all-time need for strategic leaders. One, to meet the need of others, especially the community, the economy, and most importantly, because I'm a father, you're a father, our youth. Our youth is there is a different time now. So we're at an all-time need right now for strategic leaders and strategy. So part of leadership, we talk about leadership a lot. It's part of the topic, leadership and project success. In general, I think goes back to the last question about current leadership. We need to get back to leading and serving, one, from the heart, in terms of actually being invested wholeheartedly into what we're doing and why we're doing it, then that which then turns into a passion for what we do, and then also continuing to partner and build financial relationships where we are moving with strategy. We got to get back to strategy. One of the things I say the military does well across all social services, not just the U.S. Army, but all the social services, is that there's a method to the madness of why we're doing what we're doing. Is why that the Army does this, the Air Force does this, the Navy does this, the Marines does this, the Coast Guard does. Everybody has their piece of the pie to contribute to that end goal in terms of purpose and strategy and protecting
Yeah.
U.S. soil. So now to kind of like to bring it to the context of today's call, I think that even further than that, we have to first understand it's okay to share knowledge, encourage innovation, share wealth, and in your case, we talk about in our course being able to share the platform, right? Share the success, share the opportunity to one, again, altruistic perspective. I might have a different perspective based on my experience. You have a different perspective from your experience as a leading coach and mentor. But I also lead and coach and mentor others just as well. It doesn't make us, enemies in that context, right? But we should be able to share that knowledge and share that wealth of knowledge and share that experience, and then share the platform to come together and to a common goal and provide a particular result. We got 12 people on the call today, so but they both have a different perspective from your background and my background on one platform. So being able to share the stage. It's okay to share.
Yeah, and we should be sharing actually. Sharing when I was seeing my kids, they say, sharing is caring. Okay.
No, you're right. Goes back to those human factors. The human interaction is what we're going to continue to need, no matter what industry you're in, and no matter what conflict or project that or what lack thereof you're trying to solve. You're going to have human beings integrated. You just can't make them obsolete.
Yeah.
You just can't wipe off the planet because we have an idea, right? So to go back to your question originally, you were asking what is holding us back. So I got to say, again, I say we most time because in a platform, I want to challenge our listeners to, just like you and I talked about in the course, on a project, we have to assume ownership. If I am the project manager, what is it that I would do? And how would I approach this plan? If I'm a program manager, how would I provide support to this benefit case? How would I do that as the program manager? So I use the word we as in assuming that same thought process you instilled in me in the class. And then also, especially from an exam perspective, look at it as you are the project manager in that question. So from a test taking perspective, but you asked what we are holding us back. You asked me to be professionally correct. We are holding us back. What anyone who desires to be a leader, excel in leadership, or currently serving in a leadership role, whether it be in your community, your workplace, organization, and or even family, it is our duty and responsibility to do a few things, right? And those few things are putting others first before self, being constant and consistent. And then one of the biggest things I talk to my mentees today is you have to possess self-awareness. You have to have self-awareness, probably the first and foremost thing we all have to do, no matter where you're from, no matter what company you work for, or per se, what have you, what role or capacity you serve in. Self-awareness is probably a priority. And then two, like I met you have to build and foster meaningful relationships. And relationship is not about let's hold hands and walk down the sidewalk, but how can you add value to me? I add value to you, and then we both create value for others that come behind us or for us and next to us as well. So building establishing meaningful relationships. And then another one is always, I think, as a servant leader, right? It is always in our best interest to one, provide and seek clarity. Those two things are something we really got to get, center mass focus on, get our lens on here, right? It's focused on, are we providing clarity And are we providing enough clarity that you don't have to seek clarity? But we should also still simultaneously seek clarity. And then 2, because we worked on project teams, you and I worked together on a couple of, small business stuff. We have to encourage teamwork as well, collaboration. And then 2, and also in the day and age now that artificial intelligence is now here, machine learning is here now, we're going to have to also welcome innovation and creativity. We're going to have to welcome that. We're going to have to make it fit somewhere. I'm not for replacing human beings or not giving a most recent graduate college student an opportunity that they spent 4 long years of studying how to do something, but I'm going to replace them with a computer. I don't personally believe in that. Because we all have to start somewhere. And lastly, to that point about what's holding us back and what we need to do as a duty and responsibility as leaders, project manager, program manager, what have you, even as parents, we got to learn how to say thank you. Get back to saying thank you and lead with the greeting of the day. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. So this is all servant leadership. This is all altruism. I recognize that you are in the room. Speak. See, we've got so much on, I got to get X, Y, and Z done by this amount of time, and I don't really have time to communicate. But then we get worried when we're going to replace everything with artificial intelligence. Because if we want to be workhorses to take out human factors, then by all means, let's get a robot. By all means, we want to just completely take away. Good morning, Dharam. How you doing today? How was your day? How's your family doing? Okay, great. Oh well, hey, I'm having X, Y, and Z challenges in the project. Oh, all right. Well, let me help you out with that. We got to get back to the human interactions, right? So saying thank you and leading with the greeting of the day is a big. That's a great step. That's a big step, matter of fact, because that obviously, provides value to the environment, especially the workplace environment for sure.
With genuineness. Yes, we
Yes.
really appreciate them. Yeah, and saying thank you with a big smile. All right, let me take the next question. How can you sustain team development model over time?
Okay. So it's great that you said sustain, because in the military I'm a sustainment officer essentially. So
Oh, really?
so that's from a yeah. So that's my background. So sustainment in the simplest form means to hold up or support, to last. So how do we hold each other accountable, support each other, and make a lasting, I want to say a lasting impression, right? How do we sustain those things? So how can I sustain a team development model over time? Let's see. So I would say we got to prioritize our goals and organizational priorities, establishing mutual accountability and trust, of course, yes, but also knowing your organizational strengths and weaknesses as well. That's a big important how to sustain a team development. You have to know the organizational strengths and weaknesses, and then also your individual team members' strengths and weaknesses as well. So and once you understand those two, establishing mutual accountability and trust, knowing your organizational structure or your organizational strengths and weaknesses, I think to support, or once you understand those two things first and foremost, I think that okay, I had a brain freeze. Okay, yeah. So investing in those in those areas is where I would lead to in a country like that. But how do I invest into order to say, hey, my organization is struggling, or we having a lot of delays and lacks in this area? What can I invest, or who can I invest in that particular area, or bring on board, right, to come in to close the gap for this lack thereof? And then 2, how do I capture that and make it part of our learn registry or our communication plan, or because our professional development? Who can I bring in to make sure we're sustaining this body of knowledge, and to that we not only fix it, but how do we cross train it to everybody in the room or on the team in terms of some capacity? That's one of the biggest things that I think that investing in areas and employees, not only for to solve that problem in the organization, but to also encourage and promote growth and development within as well. So I think that approach is a specifically effective model or proper step toward helping any team become more successful and cohesive, rather, which in turn which in turn not only is sustained and maintained in the individual, but can also be found again in our lesson learned registry. So, because people are continually growing, moving on, organizational or taking on projects, and so we have to learn to, in the Army we call it AAR, after action report. Essentially, like, hey, our sustains, our pros and cons, what we did good, what we did well, what we did better as, and then in project management world, there will be a lessons learned. So we need to archive those, setbacks, challenges that we've had, and what solutions and what functional areas that solve those issues and problems. So, which in the project program management, this is our model, right? That we use for structure of the growth or maturation of a team and project or program. So one of my biggest, well, I haven't read any other things since I graduated college, but one of the things I used to read a lot, in terms of public speaking and nonprofit work, one of the phenomenal poet and author, right, Maya Angelou, she said it best. You can't really know where you're going, until you know where you have been. And so a lot of times that kind of ties into our project management world in terms of lesson learned, registry, and factors. We can't know where we're going if we don't know where we've been. So, and you think about moving forward and progressing, I would love to come into an organization, a part of a team, and I face a challenge, and the answer, or close to the answer, is right there. I can go somewhere to build upon knowledge and add value back to someone to also receive knowledge. And again, that another human factor established, not artificial intelligence, not machine learning, not all of that. That Dharam was on a project. He's no longer with the company, right? He's no longer present in this organizational structure, but he worked on a project and the project was a success. But how he achieved success, he documented it, and the company has it availability for a new employee or team member to get a full understanding of body of knowledge and build from. As they build from, they also add back value to it. That overall it helps sustain our team development model in terms of the company.
Perfect. Very nicely present. Good to have your perspective on this. So just a few things. People who are in Army or as Air Force, especially U.S. Air Force and Army, my company is also on the AI portal, and as a member of AI portal, my programs are available for you guys, so you can go to AI portal and you can select my programs and learn from these. I am very fortunate to have so many people coming to me from Army and Air Force and seeking my guidance and direction on getting the PgMP, PfMP, and PMP. And every day I'm getting lots of emails around that. So you have opportunity to learn from me and to learn get the certificate done. As I said, I'm 495 PgMPs, and in this year 12 PgMPs. So not even the 2 months completed. And I'm personally have a target for this year, at least 100 PgMP, which is I know I have maximum I've gone up to 78, 79, but I want to see that whoever come to me get the best from the program, and you get the result as soon as possible. And if you're lucky, you can be sitting in front of me as the Rodrick today, who is talking about, of course you have to qualify. I have to qualify the person is the right person who can bring lots of knowledge for you guys. So yeah, you get to see the opportunity. Look, I have more than 200 plus people who came to me on this kind of forum and spent, of course, before coming to this forum, Rodrick has to prepare. He has to give up his time and be ready for this program. So I'm very, very thankful to you, Rodrick, and to all the people who have contributed so far. And I can see at least one person. We're having a webinar next few days on 8th of March. And you also here, thank you. And so you will be here on the hot seat very soon. And I know you're excited equally. You pass your PgMP exam. So I'm very, very fortunate to able to connect with so many people who are contributing and bringing more and more to the knowledge pool. And I like to see more people come and continue to keep growing this knowledge pool from 200 to 2,000. I know it's numbers, but every time, every recording I have is precious, very, very important. And this is coming from their experience. So please watch these webinars, the recordings. You don't have to wait for that next webinar. You can actually watch them. You go to the YouTube channel and keep watching. All freely available to you, and you will learn a lot from them. Okay?
Yeah, I do want to share with you and the audience as well. First, thank you for your your mentorship. Like I said before, your brotherhood in terms of not only beyond just passing the PgMP certification, going through your course. And like you said before, the course for my veterans out there is out there in the portal in terms that you can actually go through a military vendor to take his professional development courses, just like I did. His PgMP course was 10 weeks. What's unique about the course is that he customizes it to your schedule and availability and integrates it, project management integrates it into his schedule and mentorships, one-on-one group coaching. I did a one-on-one because I wanted to ask specific questions that I had ideas right there. I had ideas that I wanted to implement in my business, and it allowed me to be able for him to focus on me and me to ask, I say crazy questions that probably I thought was crazy, but was not crazy. So it just makes it more a little bit more intimate, in terms of how do I make this happen from a programmatic standpoint, and who do I need to bring in? So with that benefit, I would say his program is definitely beneficial. And I've shared the course several times, Darren, with a lot of my colleagues that have sought PMP, particularly I think I had a few people talking about programmatic program certification. But I do know, like I said, with a success record like yours of certifying 490 plus people in program management or portfolio management. And I know you're trying to get me to get in the portfolio management course. I know you are. You asked me about that twice before. I haven't forgot. I've been really ignoring you in that area. But probably eventually I'll probably end up in your portfolio management course at some point. But right now I want to kind of, make my PMP work for me, and then we can move and progress as well. But I do want to say thank you for your mentorship, and then brotherhood, partnership. And then again, as I said, I'm looking forward to the continued work that we're working on right now in terms of small business and things of that nature. So so I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you for what you do and what you don't, and your service to us professionals alike.
Thank you very much, and it's really, really honor to be part of your journey. And first of all, very important for me is you have a trust that the person sitting at the side of the camera is a good friend of mine, and he is thinking from my point of view and is part of my journey. So that trust is, once you have the trust, the journey becomes so easy. I have been fortunate to work with not only U.S. Army. I have worked with people coming from all kind of jobs and many things they are doing, and I learned from this process, and my learning help you to grow. And I don't know what else. I mean, I keep talking about this, but my sincere thanks to you and whoever trusted me on the journey. And I like to continue to build this partnership, not just in the form of paid program, but in the form of YouTube channels, whatever I can do before I go from this planet. But whatever I can do before we go, that's what One thing I can tell you, we all should think when we are going, lying down, the last breath we are having, just thinking what we have contributed to the world. Not think about what word has given to you, but what I have given back to the world. So if that thought you can start thinking now, you will start changing from now.
It goes back, Darren, what you said. What is your contribution you're giving back to the world, right? Before you leave this earth, what service and purpose have you left behind you? It goes back to what I said in the previous question. What impact have you made? How and why? And that how and why? Because once Darren or Rodrick has left this world, what work have we put, what project or process have we put in place that's going to continue to live beyond us? And then you go back to you spoke about just then about the relationships, and then two, and it goes back to my point about putting others before self, and then two, being constantly consistent about those things, because that's important. You have a purpose, you provided clarity, you're clear on what it is you're trying to accomplish. Obviously, you and I both are welcoming teamwork and collaboration. And then two, and hopefully from this call, we can continue to continue to work together and innovate and create opportunities for your children, my children, to once meet again on one accord and to provide value to the world as well. So no, I really appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate you sharing it. And again, like I said, I really do appreciate mentorship. I mean, it's you don't find many good people in this world, and that has a divine calling and purpose. And so I definitely want to extend that to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. And once again, thanks, Rodrick, for your contribution, your spending time, and your honest and your experience, sharing the experience beautifully presenting. Thank you very much. I know it takes a lot to talk in this kind of forum when people are watching, but you have been spot on and you did really well on this session.
All right, thank you.
And
everyone out there, I really appreciate y'all for being our supporters have coming to be a part of this journey with me as well. This is my first podcast or webinar for the year. I know I got a couple more coming on the schedule here, but I want to say, Darren, you the first one. So I greatly appreciate it once again. And then again, as I was saying before, I want to give a special shout out to the U.S. Services, Department of Defense, my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and then to Alcorn State University, and then to every leader and professional here as well, and constituents, and everyone else. One of the things we say before we close out a meeting, Darren, in the military: God, family, country.
That's right. That's right. So thank you very much. And once again, I'd like to thank all the people joining today. And I'm looking forward to talking to Sohan. He's also here and not far away, Sohan. You'll be sitting here. And so get ready. Yes, we have a very high expectation, not to scare you, but I know you are a great guy. So please register to his webinar as soon as possible, and you will learn a lot from him as well. Okay, great stuff. Thank you guys, and appreciate all of you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, Rodrick, for your contribution, and looking forward to see you more.